As far as receivers go, we can get into Travis Hunter really quick. 5 consecutive games with 100-yard receiving yards. Will he keep that up? That, of course, is a Colorado record.
Yeah.
What do you think? Can Travis keep that up? Will we see another guy with 100 yards this week? What's the outlook for the receivers and the Florida boys going back home?
I think until I don't see it, I'm going to project Travis Hunter getting 100 yards receiving every game, just because we know he's going to be targeted, a dozen times every game. And so, and I'm just not sure I'm not sure there's teams that can cover him. I don't think UCF can cover him enough to stop him. And Travis had the quietest 100-yard game I've seen in a long time the other day. Because it felt like he wasn't having a huge game offensively, but then you look down like, he had 130 yards tonight, and it was just a couple of big catches that he had that he's always making an impact on the game. So I think until he doesn't, I'm going to say he gets 100 yards.
Big plays from Trav, man. Shout out to him. And all right, here's our final score predictions for the game. Do we have the actual up-to-date weather report right now? Because last time you said your guy had a report, so let's see here. What is your guy saying right now?
Well, the last I've seen is that it's going to be about 90 and rainy that day. So I saw 60-70% chance of rain. The tropical storm / hurricane is not going to hit Orlando from what I'm seeing, but it's going to be remnants of it, wind and rain on Thursday and Friday. But hopefully Saturday the wind is at least gone and it's only rain. But maybe it won't be as much rain during the day. I don't know.
Let me see. Really quick before we get out of here, Orlando weather for Saturday. Yep, like you said, about 88 to 90. Precipitation. Let me see. Around game time kickoff, it should be thunder and lightning. 80, 60%, 70%, 70%. Oh man. So we could possibly see some daggone delays.
Lightning delay, awesome.
Right. I was about to say which I would not be happy about or would not welcome. No. But I'm sure anybody who attended the game won't be also. Those lightning delays are nothing to play with. Who knows how long they'll last, and especially down in Florida. So just you got to go into the game expecting the unexpected. But if it's just the remnants of the hurricane and it's kind of like that light rain, but it's still sunny and bright out, I think we can still pass the ball. I think we can still use our speed, and it's going to be a problem to deal with on the back end for them. I think I'll say this now because this is what I'm thinking in my head, and I always thought the good athletes in Florida, as far as DBs go, you can find some other wide receivers now. That's how you see a Jimmy Horn Jr. going to a South Florida or whatever. You can find some other wide receivers, but I think most of the better DBs in Florida and high school period, if they're going to go to a Florida school, it's going to be a Florida State. It's going to be a Florida. It's going to be a Miami. I think UCF can get some good guys, but overall, the talent matchup, defensive backs versus our wide receiver group, I think probably is going to be the same thing going into each and every ball game. Even if we are the underdogs overall, the wide receiver group talent level is much higher than the defensive back talent level, and we can exploit them in that way. So final predictions for me in a sloppy ball game, but a nice ball game for us because we're going to win 28 to 21.
All right. Colorado. Well, I'm not as confident as you. And some of the Buff fans are going to call me a hater on this. I'm not a hater, but I'm going to give you what I see in this game. I definitely think the Buffs can win this thing. But Chico, I also think when I look at the Big 12 portion of the schedule, I think this is the toughest game on the schedule for CU. Utah is probably a better team, but it's in Boulder. Oh yeah.
Okay. Break it down. Tell me why.
I mean, Utah is a better team, but the game's in Boulder. Kansas State comes to Boulder. Oklahoma State comes to Boulder. I think this game going down to Orlando, the bounce house, UCF is a really good team. I think they're underrated. I'm an AP voter. I had them in my top 25 for a couple of weeks. I only dropped them this week because they were off and a couple of teams had big wins, but they're like my number 26. I think they're really good. They hardly ever lose at home. And that running game is so good. I just haven't seen enough from the Buffs offensively consistently. And I don't know if they can really stop that run game of UCF. And so I'm picking actually 34-21 UCF. But I'll say this, I definitely think CU can go down there and win. I just think that this is one that they're not going to. And
you just don't believe.
I don't
That's
believe in this
one,
brother. I'm not a hater, but I just don't believe in this one. But I'll also say this, that
they're gonna go down there and kick the brakes off of UCF.
Hey, listen, if they do that, I'd be happy to come on here next week and say I was wrong. I'd love to be wrong because I'd rather cover a winner than a loser. But I'll say this too. I just don't think, like, I thought the last two games were huge for Colorado's season. They had to beat CSU and Baylor. To me, this is one that, like, if you lose this one, you're still on schedule, in my opinion. Like, I've kind of penciled this one in as a loss. And look, they're 15-point underdogs. I mean, the country's penciled this in as a loss. So I think they're still in good shape if they lose this game. If they win it, they're in great shape. And I think they're very capable of doing it. I'm just going with UCF.
All right. I will say this, at least the country and Vegas is on your side. They've been right, the previous games. But this one, man, it's so tough, because the history of Coach Malzahn, and he has just like, and I don't want to keep calling him a carbon copy or nothing like that of Cam Newton. He kind of reminds me of my quarterback I had at UAB, Darryl Hackney, who went on to play with the Broncos.
Yeah.
Very compact, strong quarterback with a strong arm, and can break some tackles. But, we have been really good against the run. The one thing is that quarterback. This guy is big and tough to bring down, but is he as fast and elusive as the other quarterbacks we've seen? I don't want to start anything, but I think we can get to him probably more than the other guys. And maybe he'll come in wanting to run the ball more than what he should. So I think that a lot of things could play into a very competitive ball game. And I said 28-21, probably 28-24 it could be. But I think we can score more points than them at the end of the day, especially if we come out and get up early. All right.
Yeah, I can see all that stuff happen. To me, RJ Harvey too is way better than any running back they faced to this point. I'm really impressed with him. But look, I have picked the Buffs the previous 4 weeks. So if I pick them 4 out of 5, I can't be a hater, right? So
no, don't worry about being a hater, Brian. Don't worry about being a hater. Just be true to who you are.
I'm just trying to give my honest opinion here. But I will say I will be thrilled if the Buffs win because it's much better to cover a winning game. And look, it'd be a huge game to me if the Buffs can go down there and win it.
That's right. And I think everybody out there can say they can respect someone giving their truth and honest opinion. And that's where we're going to leave it at right there. All right. That's our show for today. Y'all know what to do. Get in the comment section and, leave your comments and your questions. Let us know what you're thinking for the Colorado Buffaloes midweek live with myself, Big Dog Chico, and Brian Howell. Brian, let them know once again where they can find you.
Yeah, buffzone.com and also on X at Brian Howell 33.
All right. And you can also find me on all of the social media websites at Big Dog Chico, BIGGDOGG Chico. Anywhere, hit me up and we can go from there as far as information about the Buffs, insights. Follow Brian, myself, and everybody else we're doing shows with. Y'all can catch me each and every Sunday night with Uncle Neely on the Uncle Chico Sunday Night Live, where we will be recapping the game and so on. Download the Bleacher Report app right now. It's where you can get all this content and watch the show live and follow us and like, subscribe, and all the other good stuff. All right. Until next week, we will be up and about here. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah.